Hey VC, it's Ron. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I got some pretty cool vinyl lined up today. I've got some albums and 45s. So we'll be looking at the 45s a little later. And man, I'll tell you, couldn't ask for any better weather here in Phoenix. Mid 70s. It's a bit high. We have been hitting up towards 80 lately, but I guess we're in for a little brief cool down. Some rain's supposed to be coming in. So loving it. And I hope everybody's been doing well. I hope you've been able to go out and look for those treasures. I made some pretty cool finds, and get going with some modern stuff that I've been picking up. And I picked up the latest Brian Jonestown Massacre, and this is a double vinyl UK import from last year, and it's pressed on cool lime green vinyl. And this album is a pretty big departure for the band. They've been living in Berlin, Germany for years now, and although they're originally out of San Francisco. And so you could definitely hear a lot of krautrock influence in this album. And pretty sort of experimental, pretty diverse, and very cool. I would say I like their Satanic Majesty's Second Request album better than this one. But this is cool. Some good stuff on it. And it comes with a couple of inner sleeves. Heavy cardstock inner sleeves again on this. I kind of wish they would make these a little bit lighter. I think they're just a little bit too bulky. And I noticed the vinyl slides in real snug. The sleeves probably could have been a bit wider, but they did correct the problem with the sleeves sliding into the jacket. They made the cover a little bit wider on this one, so it's easier to slide in. So they're getting there. They just haven't gotten there all the way yet. But the pressing sounds super clean. Just a great press. So I'm pretty happy with it. Good album. So the next band I've been getting into, and I've seen their records around for a while, and Vinyl in the Van has kind of been promoting them of late. And so I decided to check them out. And this first record I'm going to show by them is I actually found it used. So that was a good incentive for me to buy it and check the band out. So I got this, it's a Record Store Day 10-inch from 2017. And it's called Clear Lake Forest, and it features 7 new songs. It's sort of a mini album. It's about a half an hour long. And it is pressed on clear vinyl. And this is just really good. This is a good band. They're out of Texas, and psychedelic, and just really, really good. So a limited edition of 3,500 copies on this 10-inch. And I believe it's also released on 12-inch too. So here's the tracks. Get it while you can, for the price goes up on these. I think the value of these Black Angels records are going to be going up. And this one was originally released on 2017 Record Store Day. And this is the latest Black Angels album, Death Song. Double album. And this is a domestic pressing. Now the Record Store Day issues came in glow-in-the-dark vinyl, limited edition of 2,000 copies. This is just a standard copy. And this is pressed on black vinyl. And yes, records are still being pressed in black. It also comes with a poster that I'm not going to dig out. This is sort of an arty poster. And it also comes with a sticker that looks like this. This album is amazing. It just blew me away. The opening track, Currency, man, just stunning. So if you don't know these guys, check them out for sure. They've got 5 albums in their catalog and a slew of EPs and 7 inches. So I'm gonna have to get all I can find by that band. Out of the Brian Jonestown Massacre and that 12-inch Black Angels, I would say I like the Black Angels album better. Now this one is a vintage Sundazed release, and it came out in 1996, and it's the Bow Street Runners, and this is a rare psych album that originally was released in 1970 in the US on what is it, BT Puppy or something like that. And this is the first pressing. It's on clear green vinyl. There's the original label. So I got a really nice copy of this used at the record store. So when I saw this, yikes, it's on colored vinyl, I knew it was a vintage pressing because I remember those stickers from the 90s. So yeah, this is a great psych album. The original copies are very rare. They issued them in very limited number, and near mint copies pull over $1,000. So I'm happy with the reissue. Picked up an original UK copy of Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues. Pretty nice copy. Stereo. Here's what the original label looks like. So I got a good deal on this one, and this is another one that's not terribly expensive, but near mint copies pull, you know, up towards 50, I think. This one's more along the lines of VG Plus. The cover's nice, but the vinyl is, you know, sort of a mid-grade. And I'm sure you've probably heard that Ray Thomas from the Moody Blues recently passed away several weeks ago. So yeah, that was sad to hear. And if you hadn't heard that, I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but he's resting in peace now. I got the first introducing the Beau Brummels. This is their first album, Mono. This album was a big seller, but you don't see it around much out in the wild. So I got a decent copy of it, you know, for relatively cheap. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Their second album is much better than this one. This one's a little more British, freak beat sounding. Their second album, I think, is a lot stronger. It's more of a pure folk rock sound. Then I got this Freak Out USA comp, and it's not the greatest copy in the world, but I got a good price on it, and the vinyl's pretty clean. So I'm happy with it. It's got some cool rarities on it, including a Glass Family rarity. So really cool. And it's on this yellow sidewalk label. This is a mono copy, which is what you want because the stereo is fake stereo. Then I got the first Tim Buckley album after he left Elektra Records. It's his 4th album. And this album is just so good. I love it. It's awesome. Now, I read the reviews on it before I bought it, and they was talking about how it's going into jazz direction. And that's true, but it's not the album's not overblown with jazz. It's just a little bit. And I think he probably went more into that direction later on after this album. But Yeah, I highly recommend this, and I was lucky enough to get the original pressing on straight, 1969. And in the following year, in 1970, this was picked up by Warner Brothers, and is issued on Warner Brothers. So, nice to get this. This is probably his most collectible album because of that. And it comes with the original company sleeve. Yeah, it's like a 4-star album. Then I got the first Cactus, 1970, still in the original shrink. And it has a $2.35 price tag on it, which seems pretty low. Maybe it was on sale, but I think even for 1970 that was pretty cheap. Maybe it was a special promotion to get the band noticed. Special price. And it's on the yellow Atco label. Just excellent heavy hard rock. Yeah, read the wiki on this band. Pretty interesting. I won't go into the details, but they were somewhat of a supergroup. Alright, then I got a couple of reissues. I picked these up cheap. I got Buddy Holly for the First Time Anywhere. And these are like all previously unreleased. I got some tape here. I failed to take that off. Part of the... Yeah, I don't want to rip it. You know, part of the... What was I saying? Yeah, this is just a reissue of previously unreleased versions of well-known songs. And pretty cool. It was released in the 80s. And I got a real clean copy of it for a couple of bucks. So I'm pretty happy with it. And then this one I got cheap as well. It's Rockabilly Stars Volume 3. This has got the Collins kids on it. You know, brother and sister. Juvenile group. Very cool. And this is double album from the 80s. Epic. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I'm sure it's going to be really cool. Okay, that's it for the albums, although I do want to show a couple albums. Randy just showed the MC5 Kick Out the Jams, and he got a comment from somebody talking about how he had heard through an interview with Wayne Kramer, I think it was, that there's a pressing that doesn't show this guy standing there in the corner smoking a cigarette, and he was looking for it. And that sounds to me like it would probably be the very last pressing of this album, if it does exist. He claimed that it does. So if this, I think this come out on a Butterfly label, so if it did come out on a Butterfly label, it might be on that album cover. So evidently they cut him off on the last press. So I mentioned that I had a couple of different covers that I'm going to show, and this is the original one with the liner notes. And you can see where they cut the guitar off, right there. Now this is the censored version, and the cover is a lot wider. Let's see. See how much wider the cover is at the top? Now because of that, you can see a lot more of the artwork on the album. Let me line this up. Let's see, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But anyway, you can see more of the guitar on this one. and you can see a guitar neck right there. Okay, on this one, which I think this is the most common, is what you, whenever you see this album cover, you will see it this way. So this is the unusual one. And also you can see a lot more on the back. See how high the printed in USA is right there? Now look where it is on this cover. It's like it's right at the bottom of the edge of the album jacket. So pretty cool. I just wanted to show that because you know, I like to show variants in album covers, and I don't think I ever showed that before. I might have, but I don't remember doing it. Okay, that's it for the albums, and I got some 45s that I'm going to show, so I'm going to tag, I'll go ahead and tag those onto this video. This video might stretch out a little bit longer than normal, and but you can watch it in 2 parts if you want to. But that's it for the album section, and now we're going to move on to the 45s. Alright, we're going with the 45s. Before we get to that, I want to show the MC5 album covers again because I didn't show them properly before. I want you guys to see the width of how much wider the second issue is compared to the first issue. And I think this probably depends on where the album was pressed, you know, where it came from. The copy that I have with the extra width, it's the only one I've ever seen, so I think they're pretty hard to find. So I just wanted to make sure you guys got a good look at that. Okay, we're going to get going with, before I show the 45s, the music we were listening to in the beginning part of my video was that new Brian Jonestown Massacre. And now we're listening to the Black Angels 10-inch record from a few years ago. Okay, I just got this, and I bought it a while back when Sundays was having that sale. It's the Velvet Underground Singles Collection, 66 to 69. It's a box set. So it's a reissue of all their 45s. Comes with this insert. And it has information on each track. There's a ad, reproduction of an original. Oh, sorry, reproduction of original ad. And it came with a postcard. Okay. It came with all these vintage looking brown paper sleeves, which I removed the records from. This is one of the rarest picture sleeves in the world, and they made it as a promotional sleeve only. And when they sent out the promos, it said that it really didn't even get sent with the promos. They just made a bunch of them and they didn't really distribute it with the record. So these are like mega rare, and pull thousands of dollars, of course. So they reproduced the sleeve, which is cool. It's a cardboard sleeve. Originals would have been paper, I believe. So this is just a pretty nice set here. They're original mono mixes and edits. Single only edits. When this was originally issued in '09, came out on black vinyl, and then a few years ago they did a colored vinyl edition. But I think I'd rather have the black because the black is more authentic to the original records. Now this, you'll notice there's two copies of White Light, White Heat. That's because this one is the original released version with Here She Comes Now as the B-side. And this one was withdrawn. This had the withdrawn B-side on it, which was I heard her call my name, which was a lot better choice for a B-side, I think, in my personal opinion. But so that's kind of cool. So this was the withdrawn version that never got out. So this is the complete collection of the all the 60s Velvet Underground 45s. Now they did have some from the 70s, but this is just a strictly 60s collection here. And this is another mega rare picture sleeve that was promotional only. And it originally came with radio commercials promoting the Velvet Underground album. And you'll notice the magazine cover that Lou Reed is holding in his hand is the original untouched, uncensored, bizarre album or magazine cover. Now when this picture got released for the album, they changed it and took the bizarre off. So this has got some radio spots for the album cover with the New York disc jockey speaking, as well as music from the album. Pretty cool. So yeah, just a nice set to have, because there's no way in the world I would ever have those picture sleeves unless I got extremely lucky. So that's just a nice way to have those. Okay, then I picked up a couple of punk rock singles. I got the second UK Clash 45. And I think this is probably the original vintage sleeve, plastic sleeve. And I come to find out the original pressing of this had an all black and white back on this. This was got the red sky. So this is a little bit later pressing. It's still 70s, but it's probably like 79 issue. And it's real clean. So yeah, maybe not the earliest pressing, but it's nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. And it's got a live version of London's Burning, which is a song that was on their first UK album. But this is a live version in mono on the B-side. And then this is the third UK Clash single, and this is a non-album. And this is awesome. Complete Control, one of the top punk songs of 1977. And the B-side is City of the Dead. I really like the early Clash. When they started getting into the reggae thing and all that kind of stuff, I just like the real early 77 Clash stuff. So very cool. This one's a little more collectible because it's non-album. So that's nice. And I got the Fells. They were a Tucson garage band. And this is their first 45 from 1991. And there's 3 different pressings of this. There's a hand-numbered sleeve edition of 400 copies on black vinyl. There's a clear vinyl edition, supposedly 100 copies pressed, which is this one. And then there was another one that's purple and black vinyl mixed. And that's a hand-numbered edition of 200 copies. So they only made, presumably, a total of 700 copies. And this is just an excellent 3-song record out of Tucson. And I'm not going to pull it out, but very, very cool. Space Girls, excellent. Then I got this Paul Revere and the Raiders, previously unreleased tracks on vinyl. It's a Record Store Day release from 2014. And I picked this up used and for $4. I mean, real nice shape. And it's on red vinyl. So this is very cool. So I guess these have been previously released, but they were on CD. So this is the first appearance on vinyl of those tracks. Then I got this Phoenix pressing of Waylon Jennings. This was originally on a smaller label, Trend, I think New Mexico or something like that, from '63, and it's country bop. And this was a reissue locally here in Phoenix on the Ramco label, and it's come out in 1967. So I picked that up real cheap, couple bucks, so pretty happy about that one. And then I got this Mouse in the Traps, and this is I believe a later one from '68. It's one of their better 45s, but it's not one of their top platters. So it's crying inside, and sometimes you just can't win. So this is a real good record, real clean, and a couple of bucks. And I put it with an earlier sleeve. I don't think this is a 60 sleeve because it's got a 50 styled address. But fraternity sleeves are rare, so I just went ahead and I put it with the record. Here's another fraternity release, and it's the Glass Wall. And this is, I think this is from like 1970, and it's sort of heavy funk rock. I think it's their only record, and it's pretty good. Dry Your Eyes, and It's Only a Dream. So that was another one that was real clean for a couple bucks. And then this one I got also with those, and it's Anyone for Tennis by The Cream. And I didn't have this one, non-album. This is the 45 that came out right after Sunshine for Your Love. And it's got the pressed rat and a warthog on the flip. And this was the first appearance of pressed rat and warthog. It would later appear on the Wheels of Fire album. And this was released in 4/68, and it was pressed by Plastic Products in Memphis, Tennessee. It does have a label sticker on there, and I could probably get it off, but I just haven't gone for it yet. Usually what I'll do is I'll get a blow dryer and heat it up a little bit, and then it should peel off. And if the sticker's like really old, I'll dab a little, dissolve it on there and remove it that way. And in most cases it won't leave a stain, but I have had that stuff stain a label or two in the past, but usually it won't. Alright, that's it for the showing today, and nothing left to say, but I hope you enjoyed seeing all those. Hope you enjoyed listening to the tunes, and catch you on the rebound. Take it easy, guys. Bye.